What's up, guys? Hope everyone's having a blessed day today. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the basics of the subconscious mind, what it is, how to use it, and how to reprogram it. And I'm going to break it down in terms and analogies that is very understandable and easy for everyone that's watching this video of any age. If you don't know the basics about how the mind works, you're going to want to stick around till the end of this video because I'm going to go through the stages and steps through visualization so you guys can understand how your thinking right now in today's moment can affect your future, and how your circumstances right now up until today are an effect of how you've been thinking in the past. So my goal is to get to the cause of that before we end up in the effects, which is a circumstance where we don't necessarily want to be in, because 98% of people are influenced by the unconscious society that we live in and their thinking instead of thinking on their own. My job is to break you out of that cycle so you guys can focus on positivity and what you really want to do with your life. No matter how big or small that dream is, dream it big and don't let other people's opinions or their thinking, their negativity affect the way that you live your life and what you want to do with this short period of time we have on this earth. That is my goal with this channel. So no further ado, we're diving into a whiteboard video because that's the best way. I love breaking down these videos. Anyways, the first thing I want to put out there on these bullet points is your mind is a garden. Okay, this is my beautiful garden picture. As you can tell, it took a lot of time to do this. You see the grass, see the sunlight, see the rain, different levels of soil. Anyways, this represents your mind and the various levels within your mind. So the number one thing I need you guys to understand about the subconscious mind and your thinking before we dive into all of this is your thoughts and the thoughts of the collective unconscious are the seeds. And what I mean by collective unconscious is 98% of people, maybe higher than that to be honest, are walking around unconsciously being affected by whatever the media tells them, whatever their friends tell them, which they probably heard from the media or other sources. So everyone's being collectively unconsciously influenced in some way or another. And more than likely, you yourself have been unconsciously programmed to think and act and behave a certain type of way based on your living circumstances, who you grew up with, your friends, your family, your closest acquaintances. And my goal is to snap you out of that, get you out of that unconscious thinking to consciously focus on what you really want out of life, okay? Because if you go through this life unconsciously, you're going to end up like the majority of people, living a miserable, sad existence where they're confused, they're lost, and they're depressed. So before I break down this analogy for you guys, I'm going to explain to you guys that the conscious mind is the one that's the short-term memory, the one that analyzes and thinks in the present moment, like right now, and can make split decisions, okay? But underneath all of that, and the larger majority of your mind and your thinking, is a subconscious mind. This helps you with your involuntary processes, like your heart beating, your digestion. This helps you with your intuition, and it's responsible for your long-term memory and your emotions and your feelings. So now that you understand the basics of that, I'll give you another analogy. Basically, you can think about your conscious mind as the actors on a stage and the subconscious mind as the screenwriter or the playwright behind the scenes, the guys doing the lighting, the guys writing the script, all of those people putting the play together. So what you see for most people is the subconscious mind working through the conscious mind and that penetrating through the surface of that person's reality, which we all can see. So hopefully with that analogy, you guys have a better understanding of how the subconscious and conscious mind works. If not, this will definitely explain it for you guys. So we have over 70,000 thoughts that we think throughout the day. Now, obviously, not all of these thoughts and opinions that we hear are going to make their way into our mind. A lot of them are going to bounce off the surface right here. Pretend these are seeds, okay? Like I talked about earlier, these come from yourself and the collective unconscious telling you different things. Most of the time, they're honestly false. But sometimes these thoughts do make their way and penetrate beneath the surface into our minds. And once they're in our minds, we've basically chosen to consciously or unconsciously accept, in a way, these thoughts, whether they be true or false, negative or positive. They've made their way into our minds. Now, just like a seed that's being planted they can make their way even deeper into our subconscious mind. And now, and this process when it comes to seed germination is called imbibition. When the seed becomes charged through imbibition, it gets filled with water. And that's when you first see the seed. If you watch like those time-lapse videos where the seed breaks after it absorbs water, now this thought or this seed is charged by emotion, all right? So in our minds now, we've attached an emotion to this thought, and it's beginning to sprout up something that will eventually make its way and penetrate through the surface if we continue to water that seed. And we can either water that seed through positivity or sunlight, like my little sun drawing here, or negativity or rainfall, all right? Obviously, they're both will help the seed grow. But I'm saying, for example, just for this analogy, this is positivity, this is negativity. Either way, through sunlight or through rainfall, that seed is going to grow and sprout. So this emotion attached to the thought or the seed eventually becomes a belief, and it becomes charged by either positivity or negativity. So once this thought becomes emotionally charged and becomes a belief, your R.A.S. or your reticular activating system begins to look for confirmation of this belief in your everyday life, in your environment around you, whether that belief be true or false. So I'll use myself for an example. I used to have a really bad stutter. I used to have to go to speech therapists when I was younger, and I was told constantly to work on my lisp and my stutter by my friends, my family. So what happened is over time, this became planted in my subconscious mind that I couldn't speak. So because I let that initial thought of me having a speech impediment plant itself deep in my subconscious mind, whenever I'd be at social events, hanging out with new people at parties or whatever, I wouldn't talk to them. Even at family events and gatherings, I would stay to myself and stay quiet because I believed I had this stuttering issue and there was nothing I could do about it. And once this thought of me having a speech impediment became emotionally charged and became a belief, now my brain started to look for it in those environments. So for example, if I explained something to someone and maybe it really didn't make sense, but they said, "What?" or "What do you mean by that?" I would let that sit in my mind and become a negative thought pattern of, "Oh my God, he doesn't know what I'm saying because I have this speech impediment. Therefore, next time I'm not even gonna speak at all and I'm just gonna stay by myself and not risk putting myself in a situation where I can be judged and risk being an embarrassment by having this speech impediment." So I became very avoidant, and this really permeated my subconscious mind for a long time. It even affects me up until this point. I'll make videos and I'll really look at my speech patterns and I'll do a lot of editing because I'm still subconsciously affected in a negative way that I have this issue with my speech. So I'm really working on this, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. We all have our different things that we deal with that permeate our subconscious mind. But yeah, that was my personal example. So back to the example, once this thought makes its way into the subconscious mind and it's either positive or negatively charged, it's going to make its way to the surface and appear in some way or another. And this is why there's a saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, because once it makes its way to the surface, it's very hard to break down that pattern of thinking and that habitual positive or negative way of looking at life for that person, because it's been nurtured long enough by the subconscious mind to now become a condition in that person's life. And once that condition makes its way to the surface, it's very hard to break down. And the younger you are, the deeper rooted your subconscious mind and your belief system is going to be set in the ways of the people around you and their belief system. Like there's that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So what are some things you can do to reprogram your subconscious mind? So I'll use myself as an example again. Let's say the seed of thought of me having a speech impediment sort of floats around in my mind for a second, right? What I can do instantly, the moment that negative thought comes into my mind, is take that thought, turn it into a positive, and confirm it with my R.A.S. or my reticular activating system. Because the R.A.S. looks for confirmation bias of positivity and negativity, depending on which way you program it. So instead of looking for negative confirmation bias, like maybe someone in the comment section is like, you don't make any sense, you have a lisp, your speech is terrible, I can't follow you, all these different things. Instead, I'll look for the comments that are positive and say, hey, I love this video. It was great hearing you speak the truth. You're speaking facts, you're speaking clearly, and I could really follow and hear what you were saying. I dropped a like, I hit that subscribe button. You should do that. And I want to hear more of your content. I focus now on the positive R.A.S. signals that my brain is looking for rather than the negative ones. So that's the way you reprogram your subconscious mind. You take these thoughts, because we're always going to have thoughts. We have 70,000 thoughts every single day. And you immediately turn them into your R.A.S. looking for positive confirmation of whatever that is. Blocking out the negativity instantly at the seed level, the thought level, before it can penetrate to your subconscious mind, get charged, become an emotion, become a belief, and then take root and sprout something out that you don't want to be there, okay? So I hope this video was helpful for you. Hopefully you guys understand everything that I was saying and explaining in this video. I'll probably make a part 2 and part 3 on this. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comment section below, where I can go into further detail, give you guys more analogies of how this works and how to reprogram your subconscious mind. If you learned anything from this video and you want to spread this awareness so more guys can get this information, hit that like button. If you want to stick around for more content like this, hit that subscribe button. Share this video to anyone that might need it. Remember, turn any thoughts that come into your mind that are negative into positive ones, and reaffirm the positive ones that come into your mind. Okay? Love you guys. Stay blessed.